Well, we have a Detroit Pistons trade. Nothing crazy, nothing shocking, not like the Lonzo Ball stuff we were talking about yesterday. A lot smaller when you're looking at it. It's KJ Martin and 2 second-round picks from Philly coming to Detroit, and Philly is getting back some cap relief, getting under the first apron. Um, Nothing crazy, but we're going to break it down a little bit and talk about how that could potentially lead to a star coming to Detroit or lead to a player of high caliber that can help Cade Cunningham, help the rest of the team, help JB Bickerstaff create a contender in the Eastern Conference. Before we get into that, thanks for joining me on the Leggy Sports YouTube channel, where we're going to talk all things Pistons right now. We have some upcoming projects I'm excited to announce soon, but that will be released shortly. So getting right into it. The Sixers trading KJ Martin and 2 second-round picks to Detroit. I mean, KJ Martin is a high-flying athlete. I remember his days in Houston always dunking on guys. A high percentile athlete when it comes to transition finishing. He's just one of the faster forwards as well. Good 3-and-D guy. His three's down a little bit this year. He's not gotten as much opportunity since early in his Houston days. So I'm hoping that maybe we could get something more out of him. But there's also news that we might reroute him. That came from Amari Sankova. I did have the tweet somewhere. It's gone right now, but that's fine. What I did want to look at is a tweet I put out today talking about some of these second-round picks. And I remember off the top of the video, I mentioned something about how this could end up leading us to getting a star. And the Pistons obviously are lacking future first-round flexibility, lacking first-round capital. But this is something that the second-round picks can definitely help with. I think there's a correction with the 25 and 26 Detroit picks aren't with us right now. So disregard those ones. But if you're looking from 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, you have at least 2 draft picks in every draft. And when you look at the ones we got in the Philly trade specifically, I mean, those picks are from Milwaukee 2027. Who knows where they're going to be in a couple of years from now? They just panic traded for Kyle Kuzma, so I don't know if that's going to work out. And if that fails miserably, they have to trade Giannis away. If it's anything like the Luka Doncic return for Giannis, the Bucks are going to be in some turmoil, and I think that 27 pick is going to be very valuable. And the second one, speaking of Dallas, is 2031 Dallas. So that's an important pick. I'm surprised we got that pretty easily, because if that turns out to be an early second-round pick because of all the aging stars that Dallas has, that has potential to be really good unless Max Christie goes off and he starts carrying the team and they sign a second star or they draft someone in this deep draft class. That could be a really good second-round pick, and those could then be packaged together for us as Detroit and moving those for a bigger name. And it's always funny because I'm trying to think about who's the best fit with Detroit. Isn't it Ingram? But I can't think of one right now because no one that's available, I think, fits and becomes the true 1B to Cade Cunningham. The only one I can think of was last year when Pascal Siakam, before he was traded to the Indiana Pacers, I thought he would have been great for us. Obviously, that didn't work out. He went to our division rival and turning into a Detroit rival now, which is a big bummer. And looking at some more ripples behind this KJ Martin trade, the Detroit Pistons do have $14 million in cap space they had before KJ Martin, but they're going to bring him in via the room exception. And that's really important to know, because if they end up doing things to absorb contracts worth $14 million, they don't have to worry about KJ Martin being a part of that 14. They can fill up that 14 and then use the rest of the room for KJ Martin. A lot of the cap stuff is really weird, and it's something I've been trying to get more into the past couple years. So that's the best way I can explain it, is if they make some more deals before that the KJ Martin deal's finalized, they can use all $14 million. I also heard that they might reroute KJ Martin. I don't know if he has too much of a role right now on this Detroit team. They're kind of rolling right now with the rotation they have, unless they get a serious upgrade. And Detroit has the opportunity to do the same exact thing again. Don't mind the video at the top of this tweet. I was watching No Dunks this morning. But the Pelicans previously agreed to a cost-cutting trade with the Pistons to dip below the tax, but they already did that. I believe they traded Daniel Tice to OKC. The Pelicans also attached draft capital. So I'm curious if that was supposed to go to the Detroit Pistons if they didn't make the Ingram deal. So I'm almost thinking that that's not going to happen anymore, but I'm hoping I almost said Troy Weaver. Hopefully Trajan Langdon can pull something together to make sure the Detroit Pistons are set up for this offseason to get a big fish. Get some picks so you can send them all out, or at least most of them. You want some left over to supplement, but at the same time, you need to get a star in here before it's too late. I mean, if you have 3 or 2 years left on the Cade Cunningham deal, and one of those years is trying to get a star acclimated to Detroit, acclimated to the play style, I mean, that's not a lot of time. You need to give like these stars a chance to grow together and work together. So thanks for joining me today. Hopefully next time we have a little bit more exciting news, but I think this to me, it's exciting. But it's hard to look 3 years in the future and say, oh, that's awesome. We're going to have picks in 2031. That's like an eighth grader. So again, thanks for joining me.